the day. We like to average about 4 to 5 trades a day. Average is the key word there. Obviously, these days, we are sometimes trading a little bit more than that because the volatility is great. But always we try very hard to make sure we try to pick our spots, find the opportunities that we believe will give us a decent chance to have a decent rotation for technical reasons that we find. And anything that I say as far as any levels are concerned or any work that we do is definitely a taught experience in our education course. So there are things that we do here on an everyday basis. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. We don't mind questions. Nice rotation there against our first resistance area and our first support area. So for Friday, for Friday of unemployment, pretty not a bad way to start, and it's Friday, so it's a good way to start the weekend. If anybody again has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. All right. Now market is coming back down here. We already had a good decent support area there against our 23, so we're looking at the 14 area next. So the number came out at 390. They were expecting 320, a little bit more than expected. Again, gives credence to the continuation of these 50 basis point hikes. All right. Now, next support level we have is down at the 14 area. We are range bound here a little bit, so that's good. Let's see here if there's any other numbers coming out this morning. Non-farm payrolls and 8:45 PMI composite. So in about 6 minutes here, do we have a PMI composite number, but that is a final number, so it shouldn't really move the market that much, but it's still coming out. And ISM services index is coming out here at 9 o'clock. It could be a little bit of a mover. Usually they don't have that coming out on unemployment day, but it is out. It is today. So keep that in mind if we're trading here. We got a small number coming out here in about 5 minutes, and then a little bigger number coming out here at 9 o'clock. And then at 9:30, there is a Fed speak. Bernard is talking in a speech. So that always could be enlightening to the market. You never knows. The number of U.S. jobs added in May is expected to moderate from recent months as the Federal Reserve rate hikes are trying to cool the economy. It is a mission to bring down price pressures that are being felt almost everywhere, with the Vice Chair Bernard seeing tightening continuing through the summer, and he's going to be the one giving the speeches. At today's print, it is 390,000. Some estimates for non-farm payrolls came in at 320,000, down from the 428 in April. The unemployment rate is forecast to be to improve slightly to 3.5 from 3.6. It actually stayed the same. We've enjoyed 12 consecutive months of payroll north of 400,000, but that streak is close to an end, said some analysts. The jobs growth will continue, but at a more modest pace in the months ahead as the Federal Reserve works to slow the economy and corral inflation. Keep in mind, strong jobs growth over the past couple of years was digging out of the hole caused by the pandemic in March and April of 2020. When 22 million people lost their jobs. Those positions have largely come back, according to U.S. Bureau of Statistics. The number of long-term unemployed people was at 1.5 in April, 1.5 million, a little change from March, but 362,000 higher than February of 2020. So we're almost back to even on all those jobs here. Economists will also keep an eye on the labor participation rate, which has stayed below pre-COVID numbers. April's 62.2% is 1.2% lower than the figure seen in February of 2020. But future trajectory will depend on whether workers come off of the sidelines. That number I don't have. Labor participation rate. All right, coming back down here to the lows. Next support level we have is down at the 14 area. Did bounce off of our first resistance area up there at 41. We have a small number coming out here in about 2 minutes. And then a little bigger number coming out here at the top of the hour at 9 o'clock. So see how that market reacts to those. But you've been trading with us with our first support and resistance areas, and you did okay. Took very little heat on any one of those. Again, we're sticking with the 3 to 4 points right now with our profit targets. Could change, obviously, with the volatility, especially if we continue to downtick here. All right, we are a little range bound in this little the rotation here off of the release of the unemployment number. Trying to figure out where it wants to go next. Next support level we have is down at the 14 area. We have ISM Yeah, it's all right, Rose. We'll get it going soon. Don't worry. As I was yesterday. I was able to, and then I asked if you were in the room, and you were gone. But it's all right. No big deal. We'll get it going. No worries. Yes, we do. And patience is important. Yeah, the VIX is hanging around the 25 area. Support down at the 14. We got down to 1550 here. Okay. Number is out, so it did push it down here to this 1550 area. We'll see now. See if it be a little bit careful there around the 14th, so it did get down to 1550. And so then next number we have out is the service ISM services index, and that's going to be coming out here at the top of the hour. In addition to that, Bernard is going to be talking. He's one of the Fed governors, and it's coming down at 9:30 Chicago time. So you never know if and when they're going to say something or not. You just never knows. But that's why we have to at least be aware that he's talking, and then at least make sure you keep your stops in place, just in case he says something that's kind of runs us through something or another. And by the way, it's donut day today. Donut day, in case, you know, if you needed a reason to go splurge on a donut. today's the day, right? I mean, gotta spur. If you're gonna do anything, today's the day. I mean, that's what they say. It's donut day. I just tell you what I read. I mean, yeah. If there was any excuse to go get a donut, today could be the day. This is what happens when you talk about stuff when things are slow. This is what happens. Yeah. Yeah, because they tell you not to eat before you go in. All right, we're coming slowly drifting down here a little bit, and be a little bit careful here around the 14 because we got down to 15 and change down there, so a little bit not as strong of a level, and depending on how aggressive you want to be as a trader. Everybody here has different risk tolerances, right? Nobody here trades the same. Consequently, if you have to understand the risk in trades and then understand your risk tolerance and then trade them accordingly. And obviously, because we just missed the rotation down by just some of you might have got in, some of you maybe didn't. And if you didn't, it's a little bit riskier right now than it was just a little bit ago. So keep that in mind if you are trading, and understand your risk tolerance here and trade it accordingly. And again, we're looking 3 to 4 points on our rotations for our opportunities to trade. And we had a nice rotation there against our first resistance area up there at 41 and our first support area earlier at the 23. Now we're just kind of hanging here on the lows, of course. Okay, we do have a number coming out here at the top of the hour in about 5 minutes or so. Again, we're bouncing off here off of, got down to 15 and a half. We're looking at the 14 area there, kind of missed it by just that much. So be a little bit careful down there against that area now, especially since we're rotating back up here. So just have to know, what the deal is, and then understand your risk tolerance, like I said earlier. right. All right, we're coming rotating back up here now, so be very careful there against the 14, since we're rotating off. And obviously, it's a little bit more testier than it was a few minutes ago. Testier meaning riskier. Guess I could say testier. Why not? Having one of these mornings. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. We're coming up here to our blue band area there. We do have a number coming out here in about 2 minutes. Let's see what that's going to do. This is Unemployment Friday, so usually the trade gets a little bit more quiet as the day goes on. Initially, you get the initial move. I don't know if that's going to happen today or not. I'm just telling you what has been happening lately. But since we did have a nice couple trades this morning, and we are looking so bad. So it was a nice quick little opportunities against our first support and resistance areas, and now we're just kind of staying between that little range there. Okay, so those, going back and forth in this range. Looking at the 9 o'clock number that's going to be released here momentarily. Coming off of trading off of our blue band here as this number is being released right now. Again, like I said, could be a little bit of a market mover. Bonds coming back very nicely there after a little bit of a sell-off here in the right after the number came out. kind of just held, and now we'll see what they want to do. We try to maybe sometimes get a little direction from the bond market. Again, it's not always the case, but sometimes we do get some direction there from the bond market. Kind of helps us a little bit, not all the time. Number is out, and obviously it's a little bit bullish. The next resistance area on the upside has already tested the 41, so we're not looking at that as our next support level. You're looking at the 53 area up on top as our next good resistance area. Again, once a level has been triggered and we use that area, we're not looking at it again as a strong area. I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just saying that, again, if you're more risk averse, you have to understand your risk tolerance in every trade that we put on, and then trade it according to your risk tolerance, not mine or anybody else's here. And either way, you're always going to keep your stops in place, whatever your goals are. And everybody has different goals, as you can imagine. All right, we are going to be testing this 40. It is testing the 41 again. Again, if you're a little aggressive, obviously, like I said, we like to use a level once. If you're a little aggressive here and you're going to take it again, yeah, you have to understand the risk. I don't know, Don. All right, again, testing the 41, holding that 41. Yeah, like I said, you have to be very aggressive there to take it again. Okay, coming back down here into the range we're at. Kind of going nowhere fast, right? Again, patience is very important. Got to wait for opportunities. If you were a little aggressive, depending on your risk tolerance, and uh, you jumped in again at the 41, you're obviously getting paid off here. Is it something I'd recommend? Again, it's all dependent on your risk tolerance more than anything else. Not mine, not Don's, yours. And we try to explain the risk, and you have to make a determination on your own whether you want to take the trade or not. Will you repeat the levels in the chat again, please, if you have a chance? There they are. Thank you, Don. Appreciate it. All right, again, market is a little choppy here, as you can see. It's trading in this range. It's trying to bust above the it's 41. Next resistance area is up at 53. I don't know if we're going to get there, but it's definitely chopping around here a little bit. All right, we are in a little bit of a range here. Not surprising. Unemployment Fridays are definitely not the bang up trade that it used to be. You always you always used to get excited about Unemployment Fridays. I mean, maybe I will admit that in the pit it was a little bit more busier, and he did definitely had opportunity. And we were open when the number was released, so That's another thing. All right. Range bound for sure. All right. Staying in this range. Philip, always good advice. Glad you had a good morning, and we'll talk to you on Monday. Again, range bound here a little bit. All right, still range bound. Basically, we traded off of the morning and been stuck in this range all morning. And again, we can't create trades. We are only here to trade whatever the market gives us. And sometimes it gives us more opportunities, sometimes less. We like to average 4 or 5 trades a day, and average is a key word there. That's what we are trying to do here on an everyday basis. I think we probably do get to that average. All right, again, as you can see, a little range bound here, but like I said, it's okay. We have to learn to be a little bit patient here and wait for the market to give us our opportunities to trade. All right, just like I keep saying, a little range bound. I wish I had something better to tell you, but we have to be patient here. All right, we are just a little stubborn little market here. Just doesn't want to bust out of this range. Anybody have any questions? Good time to ask, as the market definitely is slowing down here a little bit. All right, bonds is definitely making a nice recovery here, keeping S&P is a little bit on the downside, I think, a little bit of pressure here on that market. Inverse trade, bonds coming back to where they pretty much started with. right, we are kind of hanging here on the lows. Again, we talked about the 14 area there being a little bit tenuous given the fact that we already traded down there. So be a little bit careful around that level if you're going to take it.
Did you find out where little buddy went? Does he get lost in Legoland?
Yeah, no, I got to, no, don't know. I have to give him a call, I'll give him a call today and see what's up with him.
Tell him we miss him.
Yeah, I do. It's, I know you miss him more than anybody, that's for sure.
Yeah. Tell him I'm sending out a search party at Legoland for him.
I know, Legoland. Could you believe that stuff? Only in California. I guess there's one everywhere. I don't know. I know. I'm sure there's not a Legoland in Texas. Not that you would know of.
No, I'd have to ask the grandkids.
Yeah.
The grandkids have been to the one in California.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See? There you go. Yeah, there's not one in Chicago. I think there's one in New York, but not quite sure. I never got into the Lego stuff. Yeah.
Is it just where you go and they just have just tons of little blocks and you put them together?
I don't know. What the hell are you asking me?
Mark's going to have to explain.
He asking me like I've been there. I don't know. What do I know? I have no idea how that stuff works. I never liked them, to be honest with you. I just never got into them when I was younger. So
we had Lincoln logs.
Yeah.
And pickup sticks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, something normal like that. No, I don't know. I honestly, I didn't. I never got into them when I was younger, so I can't help you out there.
Y'all been practicing?
Yes, we have been, and I have one exceptionally great talent, and I'm trying to fill in the void with the rest of them. And I just have to. I hate only using, relying, I should say, on
one person.
kid.
Yeah.
Especially since we put a little bit of pressure on them, and anything could happen. But it is what it is. We'll see. We'll see how it works out.
When's the tournament? In July?
July 31st, we're going. So July 31st, and we'll be gone that week. It's only for a week, and it'll be interesting. I trying to fill a couple of the spots with some of the kids, and unfortunately, I can't. A lot of kids have these, commitments to going to camp.
Yeah.
I mean, who's 50? I mean, I was not 15 and going to camp. That's the part that I don't get.
Yeah.
But 15, 16-year-olds are going to camp. I mean, what? I don't know.
We were going outside.
Right? I mean, who went to camp at 15? Yeah, I mean, they gave me a bat and a ball, and they told me to go to the park and play baseball. I mean, I was fine with that. I don't know. And now you got to go to camp. God forbid you send your kid out to the park and let him play by himself nowadays. It's terrible. But yeah, that's what we did. I remember going to the park and playing baseball. That's what I did every summer.
I can hear my mother now. Go outside and play.
Yeah, right. These kids are, everybody's going to camp. I'm like, what's camp? What? How do you guys like camp so much instead of a basketball tournament? I mean, where are their priorities, for heaven's sakes?
What's the other one? Shut the door. You wasn't raised in a barn.
Yeah, something. Can I get the rates? Rates? What rates? Fees for the month?
He's the levels.
Oh, levels. Oh, gotcha.
Hey, Anna Palm, how are you today? Just a second, I'll get them for you.
No problem.
Try that.
There we go.
You doing okay?
Told you to be careful there around the 14 because of the price action prior to that. So next level on the downside here is really down at the 99 area. Very stubborn little market today.
I'm glad to see we finally hit 16.
Yeah, right.
I quit. That was my big bang for today.
I quit a long time ago after the first couple of bars. I mean, the first two levels. I was happy with that, especially since they pulled the plug on everything else. Brutal. I didn't think. I thought we were going to be a little bit busier.
Yesterday, when we went up, we passed that 04. We got to 14, and it worked out. Then we got to the 24 area, and it stopped at 22. I said, well, y'all might not want to take this next level. And it hit 24 and bobbled just about a point, and then it took off.
Mm-hmm.
And
you mean to the upside?
To the upside, yeah. And so I'm going because the 37 worked, and so did the 48. Mm-hmm. I was gone after that. But today we come back and we're trading right down to that 23, 24 area, and it's stopping and bouncing off of it. Mm-hmm. I'm going.
Right. So basically what Don's telling you is that you got to remember levels from the day before and stuff like that. The market always seems to react to certain areas, and why they react to those areas. No, don't exactly understand it all the time, but as long as we know that the market reacts to those areas, we trade them accordingly. So that's why we write levels down every day, and they seem to come back into play, even though they might not come back into play again today or tomorrow, but they'll come back into play another day. And just kind of have those areas in mind going forward. That would help you, I think, continuing to find good areas of resistance and support. All right. Well, they did try to extend a little bit. I think the market it doesn't know where it wants to go from here. Numbers were, I mean, they were not terrible. I mean, we are down a lot, but a lot is relative these days. But it is Friday, so if we made a little bit of money and you're kind of happy with it, there's always Monday. Nothing wrong with waiting for Monday, because this is very, very slow, unfortunately. All right. Well, we got what we got 99, 4100 area, 4100 area next support level. It's just definitely just kind of gravitating in this range it's been at for most of the morning. All right, definitely doesn't know what it wants to do. Bonds here also coming off a little bit. Not that we watch bonds that much to help us all the time, but you never know.